Hello, my name is Dana Bella. I'm currently an MLS student at the University at Buffalo, and today I am going to talk about the Schneider Family Book Award. The Schneider Family Book Award is donated by Dr. Catherine Schneider. It honors an author or illustrator that embodies artistic expression of the disability experience for children and adolescent audiences. 3 annual awards are presented for Best Teen, Middle School, and Children's Book. The American Library Association Awards Committee decides the winners of the award. Books must have certain criteria in order to be considered. Some of this criteria are the book must portray aspects of living with a physical, mental, or emotional disability. The book must also show characters living a full life with a disability. Also, they must be written in ways that adolescents and children can understand this theme. The Schneider Family Book Award is important in making libraries inclusionary and helping children, middle schoolers, and teens understand their peers with disabilities, but also increases self-esteem in children with various disabilities. I have read 3 young reader books that have won the Schneider Family Book Award. Brothers and Sisters by Laura Dwight, Rainbow Joe and Me by Maria Diaz-Strom, and Piano Starts Here, The Young Art Tatum by Robert Andrew Parker. These 3 young reader books have accurate descriptions of disabilities. In Brothers and Sisters, we meet sets of siblings, and in each sibling pair, we learn about various disabilities. Charlie has Asperger's, James is blind, Naja is deaf. Each has a sibling that discusses their disability and how they work together and get along. This book is educational as it discusses and teaches young children about various disabilities through the eyes of their siblings. The disabilities represented are congenital amputation, Asperger's syndrome, blindness, Down syndrome, hearing impairment, and cerebral palsy. We learn inclusion through the sibling pairs as they show compassion and use teamwork to help each other. In Rainbow Joe and Me, Eloise is a painter and tells her neighbor, Rainbow Joe, about how she mixes her paints to create different colors. Rainbow Joe informs her that he can make colors as well, but Eloise doubts this because Rainbow Joe is blind. Eloise goes home and tries to paint with her eyes closed to see what it is like to make different colors being blind. She keeps asking for Rainbow Joe to show her, and he keeps saying one day. The day finally comes when Rainbow Joe is on the stoop and begins to make colors with his saxophone. He starts to play and the music comes alive, and Eloise realizes how Rainbow Joe makes colors with his music. This book teaches children about visual impairments. Through Eloise, we learn about inclusion and compassion. When Eloise tries to make colors with her eyes closed, we see how children learn through experiences. And Eloise learns that color is not just visual, but color can also be sound. The middle school books that I have read that have won the Schneider Family Book Award include Al Capone Does My Shirts by Jennifer Choldenko, What Would Joey Do by Jack Gantos, The Thing About Georgie by Lisa Graff, Chuck Close Up Close by Jan Greenburn and Sandra Jordan, The Storyteller's Beads by Jane Kurtz, Becoming Naomi Leon by Pam Munoz Ryan, and Harry Sue by Sue Stauffer. These books introduce middle schoolers to various disabilities and shows how children with disabilities are similar to them. In Al Capone Does My Shirts, we learn about autism. In What Would Joey Do, the main character, Joey Pigza, has HDHD, disabilities that middle schoolers encounter daily. These books are extremely important for inclusion as they help peers relate to each other. In Al Capone Does My Shirts, we meet Moose and Natalie Flanagan, a brother and sister who moved to Alcatraz Island. Natalie Flanagan has autism, but in this time period, autism and the spectrum had no name. In The Thing About Georgie, we learn about dwarfism. Georgie is a dwarf and he is included in his classroom. The students treat him no differently despite his dwarfism, and we see the same trials and tribulations he goes through as his peers. In Chuck Close, Up Close, Chuck Close, the painter, has dyslexia and is paralyzed. We see how he paints and how he creates art despite both. In The Storyteller's Beads, we meet Rahel and Saheh, who escaped together in Ethiopia across the Sudan, despite being different. Rahel is blind and Jewish. In the end, they become sisters, and in Israel, they learn how alike they really are, despite their differences. In Becoming Naomi Leon, we meet two siblings, Naomi and Owen. Owen leads a full life despite his physical disabilities, and him and Naomi are extremely close and protective over each other. In Harry Sue, we meet a young girl who, with her friend Homer, who is paralyzed from the neck down, concoct ways for Harry Sue to go to jail to be with her mother. The young adult books I have read that have won the Schneider Family Book Award include Things Not Seen by Andrew Clements, Jerk, California by Jonathan Friesen, So Be It by Sarah Weeks, Louis Braille, A Touch of Genius by C. Michael Mellor, and the 2015 winner, Girls Like Us by Gail Giles. These books introduce young adults to peers with various disabilities, as well as the themes of inclusion and how much they have in common with their peers who have disabilities. Books about disabilities also increases the self-esteem of young adults with disabilities by giving them characters they can relate to who are living full lives. In Things Not Seen, we meet Bobby Phillips and Alicia Van Dorn. Bobby becomes invisible through no fault of his own, and Alicia feels invisible because she is blind. Both learn in the end how to be seen again. Bobby becomes visible again, and Alicia is seen as a full human being when she finds out that she can get a job at Sears. In Jerk, California, we meet Sam Carrier, who has Tourette's syndrome. We see him fall in love for the first time and learn about Tourette's from his journey to discover who his father was. We also learn that his Tourette's is genetic and handed down from his father. In Louis Braille, A Touch of Genius, we see how Louis Braille contributed to blindness. It is an autobiography and tells the story of how Louis Braille became blind and his contributions to society. So Be It by Sarah Weeks introduces Heidi, who was born to a mother with developmental delays. She only knows 23 words. We journey with her across country to learn more about her mom and who her mother was. In Girls Like Us, the 2015 winner of the Schneider Family Book Award, we meet two girls with developmental delays who become roommates. Through them, we see how teenagers with developmental delays go through horrific situations, and that despite their delays, they are triumphant and can overcome them. Young adults are also taught compassion in this book, as this book has very graphic scenes of physical and sexual violence. The Schneider Family Book Award books are important for libraries and schools as they introduce disabilities to teens, middle schoolers, and children in ways they can understand them and relate to them. It is important for children who have disabilities to have books they can relate to, and give children without disabilities books about the greater community at large. The Schneider Family Book Award books do just that. They introduce children, middle schoolers, and teens to books about disabilities and different people in their community. In conclusion, I hope that you have gained an understanding of the Schneider Family Book Award and have learned of the importance of its books in libraries and schools. Thank you.